Hey, welcome to the Dolphins Dive Bar. Lazy boy here, Tony two times, aka Chicky. This one won't come out, or didn't come out until after the new year, but hey, that's okay. We're here to celebrate a new year, 2025, and we're here to finish the year 2024 with a Dolphins win in December, right? Miami beats Cleveland, the lowly Browns, by a final score of 20-3, defensive masterclass. Unfortunately, you had to put on the side that opportunity to change narratives because a couple of big things happened in the game. First of all, Cleveland was 60 degrees, not the winter wonderland that I'm sure that we were all expecting. And then two, old QB1 didn't play, hurt his hip in the last game. Yeah, took a tackle, and we're like, oh man, well at least it wasn't the head. He popped up quick, I guess, but after the fact, the pain, I guess, he just then the chance for serious injury was there, and he couldn't play. And who knows if we'll see him next Sunday in the season finale in another do or die game versus the Jets. Greatest ability availability, and hey, our franchise guy, unfortunately, he gets hit too hard. He sometimes gets hurt, and he can't play the game. But that's neither here nor there because we're gonna talk about the guys that did play the game, and we're gonna do it drinking some Barcelo. You know the deal. So this will be like, I'll try to make this like a quicker video today. It was like, good, bad, ugly kind of situation. First of all, the good was the defense. I mean, sure, okay. Cleveland's like, it was like their 39th starter since 1999. And quarterback's name was DTR. Don't call him DTR because his mama don't like it. Dorian Thompson Robinson was the starter for Cleveland after, I don't even know who the hell was on their team. Like the grabber. Uh, well, there's two guys that were the grabber. One guy's grabbing women's hands and placing them on his junk, and the other guy's grabbing crab legs from Publix or whatever. And now this guy, DTR. Pedestrian day for him, 24-47, buck 70. Actually, not that bad, but he got picked once, he got sacked once. Um, in Cleveland, I mean, they're just talk about like another team like the Dolphins that just didn't live up to expectations. I mean, those guys had a lot of high hopes, and they couldn't achieve. I mean, they fell apart at the seams, and they still got some good players. I mean, Jerry Jeudy had 12 catches for 94 yards. That defense, I mean, Jalen Ramsey played all right. Dodson, man, he had 15 tackles and a pick, coming out of nowhere in that linebacking core. This is like, you think about like the no-name defenses, they had these great players, but nobody knew who they are. Like, this is akin to that because it's like, him, Brooks, these aren't like household names. Like, really only like diehard fans know these guys, but they're making names for themselves. I mean, Brooks had 9 tackles. Agba, another one of our guys who, the silent but big time contributor this year, he had a sack. He's been playing with like a freaking practically like a torn bicep. I mean, that dude just goes out there and he still wreaks havoc, And then Chop's developing nicely. He's wreaking havoc. Calais Campbell, like, be defensive. Steelers won like team defensive MVP, and deservedly so. But I mean, I think that's like a co-award that has to be shared with Calais Campbell, because I mean that dude is a name, and that dude so just focused and intent. More good for Miami was that offense. Snoop Huntley. I mean, dude, he did everything that you needed him to do, right? So like, I got the news late. Like, I woke up in the morning, right? Like an hour or so away from game time, and after I get up and everything, I look at my phone like a little bit later, and I see like, my notification, Dolphin inactives, Tua Tagovailoa, right? So I was like, oh crap, like QB1's out with a hip. Oh no. But apparently, McDaniel and company were preparing for it all throughout the week. Huntley, because Tua puts like a monopoly on first team reps, right, in practice. But, I saw that Huntley had gotten a lot more first team reps. So McDaniel and company did a really good job of, saying that, hey, this, our guy, we're holding out hope, but more than likely he's not going to be able to go. So we're going to need, next man up. And they did a good enough job of getting Huntley ready and putting a game plan together for him. It was some of the old game plan, not necessarily like pick the spot and let it drop the way Tua plays, but I mean, like he was throwing guys open, and he was relying on his big names. No Jalen Waddle again. He's still out with that knee after getting rolled up on. Hill gets 9 catches for 105 yards. I mean, that's a good game for him, especially given this year the way it's been going. So, he finds his guys. He also hits Malik for 4 catches for 41 yards. Spreading the ball around, found Jonnu with safety blanket. Jonnu, talk about the good. It's crazy to me. Like, Jonnu gets 3 catches for 26 yards and a touchdown, right? But Jonnu caught his 7th touchdown catch of the year, which amazingly, ties a Miami Dolphins record for touchdown catches in a season. I forget who it was. It was another player and Anthony Fasano who owned that record. And it's like that, damn, that really tripped me out because 7 touchdowns in a season is the tying point of that record. When you think about some of the really good pass catching tight ends that the Dolphins have had, even within the last 20 years, forget about the team history. Guys like Fasano, guys like Randy McMichael and Mike Gesicki, who was an adept pass catching tight end. So yeah, I mean the dude's got a chance next week on Sunday to break said record with only 8 receiving touchdowns. You think about guys like Gronk and Kelsey and damn, what the hell is his name? The Latin dude, Tony Gonzalez. Guys that get mad catches, big parts of the offense. So it was just kind of tripped me out that 7 catches, 7 receiving touchdowns is the most for a Dolphins tight end in team history. With the good on Huntley, I mean, the dude used his legs. On top of going 22 for 26, so he only had 4 incompletions, right? He gets 1 touchdown. He does get sacked 4 times, right? But on top of the 22 for 26 and 225, he also runs the ball 7 times for 52 yards and gets a touchdown on his legs with a long run of 18 yards. So he's a dude that can put the ball down when he has to and just take off. And, in this NFL, that is such a good wrinkle to have because you got to keep the defense on their toes. When QB1's in there, they don't really fear that. Unless the play really breaks down and he can go for it, rarely will he take off and book it. And, we see why. So to have a guy like Snoop Huntley that is just able to run the ball like that when he's in a jam, try to make a play, pick up some first downs on the feet. I mean, there's a nice little wrinkle. And I guess a pretty decent defense, too. I mean, Myles Garrett's still out there trying to break your neck. I mean, it was his 29th birthday that game, and the dude got 2 sacks. They got some killers on that defense that were trying to make some plays. I mean, they did get to him 4 times, but he was able to get away enough times and keep plays alive on his legs, find guys open, throw guys open. He did everything you needed him to do. That was a beautiful audition to be Miami's backup quarterback going forward. Much better grasp of the offense. Really took the time, to learn his craft, learn that playbook, learn the game plan as a gamer. Maybe a little added oomph in it. He probably said it wasn't a big deal, but, he was on this team's roster at the, beginning of camp, and they caught him, So he came here, and he got a little revenge on those guys, showed them, what he's able to do. And, hey, props. Good Jason Sanders, bro. Kicking machine. I mean, he hit him from 39. He hit one from 54. Miami, their first 3 points of the game, 54-yard field goal, and that win. I mean, perfectly down the middle kick. Actually dinks off of the crossbar, and then goes into the back of the end, like behind the end zone. So it's a good kick. Insane. More good. Cleveland Browns discipline. That was very good for Miami today because they had no discipline, right? Those guys get 9 penalties for 84 yards. Bad teams commit a lot of penalties, right? They can't get out of their own way. Of course, the bad, you have to start with Miami's lack of discipline. I mean, that's kind of who they've been all season. They have 11 penalties for 94 yards. I mean, it rears its ugly head in the very first drive when a beautiful passing catch to Achane for mad yards gets wasted because it's called back by a holding penalty. Dodson, who makes a great play, gets an interception, and then gets called because he takes his freaking helmet off on the field. Like, they got it at the damn 50. He picked that ball off at, like, the 50-yard line, right? Gets that 15-yard penalty, and then some other shenanigans happen, and the next thing you know, after they get it at midfield, they're punting the ball from their own 25. Like, that drive, that whole sequence just, like, drove me mad because it's like, you're fighting so hard for a playoff spot, bro. You're not going to, if you get in, you're going to go up north and play Buffalo. Like, you're not going to get by and beat a good team if you're just being, like, that careless and stupid. What's the simple things? Like, everybody knows you can't take your damn helmet off on the field to play. I get you're excited, but you can't do that. And then you lose yards and you try to get cute with things, and then you lose even more yards, which goes another bad, like some of Mike McDaniel's play calling. I mean, look, the run game today was just like, it was very pedestrian. Devon Achane, 10 carries, 25 yards. That's 2.5 yards a carry. Raheem Mostert, 6 carries for 3 yards. No Jalen Wright. Malik Washington had like 1 carry for like negative 11 yards, whatever, because they tried to get cute. That's where the negative comes in. They get cute and they try a little trick play, and they lose 11 yards on the Malik run. Kills the drive. I mean, they're still doing shit like that. Another dumb thing, McDaniel. These challenges, bro. Like, someone's got to tell this guy, stop. Just don't throw the damn red flag. Like, you need to hire somebody else that can be, like, your challenge coordinator, because Miami loses 2 challenges and 2 timeouts in the second half. 1 on an offensive drive, 1 on the defensive drive, right? But the best part is Miami wins the game. Like I said, 20-3 over Cleveland. 8-8 is the record. Hey, listen, if you've been a fan of the Dolphins, for like over the last 20 years, and if you have, God bless you, like, you are salt of the earth, you are loyal. I mean, 8-8 is like, that's the be-all, end-all of Dolphins football, right? 8-8. But we got a chance next week to go 9-8, and everybody gets to keep their jobs. Woohoo! It's funny, it's like, wait till they add the extra game, because the NFL wants to get that extra game, and they want to go to 18, maybe 18 games. You get the 2 bye weeks in it, and then with that, hey, maybe we'll get a chance to go 9-9, right? But what's coming up next for Miami is like the be-all, end-all game. It's the final game of the regular season. Could be Miami's last game. Could be Calais Campbell's last game with the Dolphins. Could be Teron Armstead's last game. Could be a lot of guys' last game because of just the general roster turnover that they're going to have to do. But it could also be the last game for Aaron Rodgers, Aaron, as a member of the New York Jets, maybe as a member of the NFL, period. It's going to be at New York. I don't know the weather. I'm assuming it's going to be cold. I don't think that they're going to get lucky like they did against Cleveland and get a freaking 60-degree game a couple days after Christmas, right? But that game's going to be at MetLife takeover. 4 p.m. like slot, the 4 o'clock slot of games. All the games are going to be going on. Well, the only other major game going on that we're concerned about is also in that time slot is Denver and Kansas City going at it. Kansas City's resting Mahomes. Carson Wentz is starting. Should be a cakewalk, you would think, for the Broncos. But hey, man, crazy things happen, right? Like Carson Wentz got hurt. Nick Foles came and brought the Eagles to a Super Bowl, right? Mahomes isn't playing, but Wentz is still a baller in his own right, and at least he was. You never know. These guys that play spirited football. I mean, Spagnola's still calling the defense. Andy Reid's still coaching the team, so they're gonna have something up their sleeve. They're gonna be ready, and we'll see. Miami's gonna have to take care of their own business though versus the Jets. QB1 might be playing, might not be. The hip still might be jacked up. And then if they win and Denver loses and we sneak into a playoff, maybe QB1 is back the following week in the wild card round. But we won't know any of that until at least Sunday, right? So we're going to finish this drink real quick, and we're going to finish this video. Miami winners 20-3. We'll see if a couple things happen for us, and maybe the Dolphins will be postseason bound. Who knows? We'll talk about that on a Sunday. But until then, hey, thanks for joining me on the Dolphins Dive Bar. We'll talk.